let's get into it. All right. So if you have any questions along the way, I'll kind of look into chat as well. So if you have any questions about any thought process you may be thinking up something when I'm talking, I will slowly kind of glance back over to talk to you guys. But the main thing I want to bring up and we'll, look at for the most part, KZR. We'll go from stocks like KZR, what essentially you need to be looking for and what to avoid for your patients. And that's what I want to get into today, because I know a lot of you have had, we all do. I say you have. Hell, I was 100% one of the worst at it. Having patience. Of course, I always talk about, and it has helped out over the years, having 100 different animals in the house, however many, the 19 that I have now, that definitely builds patience. There are many things in life, and that's what I tell a lot of traders, and I've seen that, from the top traders when they use these small things outside of life. So not only, my point when I say having 12 dogs is, that'll help build patience. Think of things that you do outside of stock trading, what you're doing when you're at the drive-through window. One car in front of you, and they're taking 27 years to place their order. 27! You're like, how much you ordering for? Then you get to the wait. Okay, cool. And then they just got to pay and get all their 20s. It takes like 27 more minutes, or again, boy, I just saw this one recently. You're in a plane. You think you're about to land. This happened to my wife recently. You're about to land. And all of a sudden, there's a storm or whatever, kind of at the last minute, and they got to circle around for an hour. And then she had to then divert to Jackson, Mississippi. You get my point. Patience, right? Patience. All these little things that you go on sit in big cities. All you guys in big cities. Traffic. Patience, right? We use those things and understand that if you have to endure certain things that you would rather not have to go through in life, understand that if you can go through those things, if you can manage 20, 30 minutes in traffic, you can manage an hour flying around extra in a plane waiting for the weather to die off so you can land. If you can wait 20 minutes, I just went in. I waited 25 minutes in a drive-through line. You can have patience to be in a play for 5, 10, 15, 30 minutes, an hour, right? It's easier said than done, but try to use these things that you have. Again, you have 12 dogs at home. They're barking, they're yapping. You got all this stuff. You got trying to make food for the wife. The kids yelling. The wife's on her for what? You get my point. You're getting no help. And you're like, serenity now, right? We have these moments in life. Try to understand that using those moments in life to discipline yourself in the stock market is very crucial. I want to bring that up right off the bat. And then secondly, because it's helped me understand those things. Understanding that I can, if I can go through that kind of stuff and have the patience to put up with some of the shit that we go through in life, you can have the patience to just wait on a play to work out and wait for your targets to get hit, whether it's a stop loss or it's your targets and they're actually getting hit in the right side, the right direction you want to go in. And so a lot of the keys to start off with at first, I cannot stress this enough, team. And I'll put this kind of over here so we can see this charts as well, so I can type. This right here, going smaller share size. And I can put 1 trillion capital letters right here. That is going to be one of the first main keys of what's going to help you be a more disciplined, patient trader. If you go smaller share size. You're not in 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 shares. So every penny, but every 10 cents is $100, $200, $300. Say you're only in 100 shares. It's not going to be detrimental as you would think, right? It's not going to be. So that way you could stay in your play a little bit longer. Wait for it to fruitate in your direction, or maybe not, and actually stick to your stop loss for once, And what also is going to help you do this? Besides this right here, going smaller share size. So breaking that down, I can't address every one of you in chat, but imagine you have a 3 to 5, and I'll try to just be generic. You have a $3,000 to $5,000 account size. Literally, don't go anything over 100 shares. Now, every once in a while, you're starting to feel a little confident. Go 300, maybe go 500. But as soon as you do that, and you're used to doing 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, you go in 500, you know exactly what you're going to do as a human. Oh, I'm in 500 shares, man. What do I do? That's why we just stick to the basics. Just go 100 at every trade. Stick to your target. Stick to the main thing, forming a plan, right? You don't form a plan, you're not going to have any patience. You're not going to know, the deck talks about all the time. A lot of traders, we talk about this all the time. Maybe they know their entry. Half the time they don't, though. I just got in to see, why did you get in this play? What? And so make sure we have a plan. Not only and see the stuff ahead of time. As much as I try to do as well, as much as I can try to alert when I'm doing my sessions or whatever, try to anyway. I know Alex does a great job. All the other traders in chat that alert things ahead of time, right? And we say, watch for a head and shoulders creation, watch for this trend line crack. We're trying to see things ahead of time. Talking about was brought up in multiple times, leading your receiver. Back to, Alex on Friday. I brought it up on, on Thursday, I should say. Then I brought it up on Friday. I've always thought about that, because it goes back to sports, and because your receivers, you got to lead them and you have to throw that pass, and it's got to hit them in the right direction, right? It's got to be at the right place at the right time. And so you're just kind of anticipating that, you're anticipating what the market's going to give you, what the defense is going to give you. And so you're seeing these things form. Why? Because you've seen them happen day in, day out, week after week, month in, month out, year after year, right? And so the more you're seeing these things happen day in, day out, week after week, month in, month out, year after year, you start becoming a little more accustomed to not only what you're going to see, but you become a little bit more disciplined and patient, because 87% of the time, this is probably what's going to happen right here, right? And so just know that time's going to build up what? Patience. And a lot of traders don't understand that. They want to dive right on in and think that they're just going to be able to be in trades forever, and they're not. We get hit in the face real hard. And so going smaller share size is very crucial. So if, again, back to the kind of the count size, you have 3,000 to 5,000 share account. I wouldn't go anything bigger, 100 shares, maybe 500 shares. You have a 5,000 to 10,000, account size. I would go anything between one. I would go literally 1 in 500 shares. Nothing. I would give you the 1 to 500 clearance. Find a number that's that's safe for you. If it's 3,000 to 5,000, I would literally stick with 100 at first. And these are first numbers, right? And what I would tell most of your traders, even let's get to, so you have 10 to 15,000, maybe go 5, but I would never go early on team more than 500 shares. If you have that massive account, we know what even 500 shares can do to you, because you're going to do this every once in a while. What I'm going to try to tell you not to do is the next step, and that's playing slower movers. First is going smaller share size, right? Don't go anything bigger than 500 shares. Really try to stick to 100. Hell, go to 10. Go to 1. I forgot who brought it up last week. It may have been Alex, but it could have been Ashton, one of the A's. Brought up, just go, go 1 share, do it 20, do it however many times in a row, do it tons of times in a row. Keep doing it until you realize, okay, you know what? I've done this 100 straight times. This strategy, just don't give up, then go to the next strategy, right? We're going to find one that works for us. But go 1 share if you want to. Hell, I'll give you the clearance for that, right? Just do 1 share, but no more than really 100. Now, if you have a massive account, I'll give you maybe 500, but I would still stick 100 or less. It's going to help your clarity in here and not worry about how much and get rid of the P&L on top of the fact. Besides this, there's number 2. Actually, we'll get in number 2. Get rid of your P&L. And I won't do as many exclamation marks, but I'm going to go quite a few right here and give it to that and say, get rid of your P&L. There's a reason why most of my charting, when you see it, you only see my average entry price. I don't care about how much I'm up. I want to make sure I'm in at the right price. Cool. Now I'm going to stick to my targets. My stop loss. What are those? Now let's trade. And this is it. Now let's trade. Now let's sit back, right? I was in KZR earlier. I was looking for another play. That's what I want to brought up. Earlier I was in KZR trying to get an AGRX. Every time the dip afterward would miss it. Or AERC, I thought it'd be a 16 and it ended up being a great $16 bounce. Put the order in a little bit below it, hit it 16, went on up, right? I'm trying to get in 2 plays at once. I don't mind that. Why? That's the last step. So let's get into it. Find and trade slower plays. Please. This will be the other big one right here, right? Not as big as the first one. First one's super tremendous team in my opinion. Oh, I was capped out there. And I'll put some. There we go. So we can actually see here a little bit more here, so we can see these a little better. These are going to be the main 3 things I'm going to hit up though right here, and then we're going to go over what we're doing when we're trading. But the first thing let's go back over this. Smaller share size. Go 10 shares. Go 1 share. Go 100 shares. You've got to figure out what works best for you, and you need to get comfortable as well sticking to your targets and your stop loss. So the second thing that's going to help that, get rid of your P&L. Because a lot of traders, I'm down 10, I'm out. Oh, I'm up $40, yes. Oh, shoot, why did I get all of that? Why did I get all out there, right? Let's not do that. Get rid of your P&L is going to help that. How much you're down, how much who cares? We're going to lose it first. You need, like Alex said on Thursday, you're going to need to get used to seeing red. And that's why I want you to get rid of your P&L. That helps not even worrying about it. You're just going to stick to your targets at that moment in time, right? You're just going to find your targets, your target, and your stop loss, stick to it. So going smaller share size because it's not going to be very detrimental to your account. With getting rid of your P&L so you're not worried about how much you're up or you're down. And then we're going to find slower plays, and we're going to trade those slower plays. So we're going to move away from trades like AGRX. We're going to move away from plays that spike out of nowhere, like HTGM. We're going to move away from plays like APRN that move out of nowhere, that have hardly any movement to them throughout the day and really any technical soundness to them. Hell, I don't mind if you go to AMD. You can only afford a share. I'd rather you come over here and trade AMD any day of the week as a newer trader trying to work on patience versus coming over here and trying to trade a mover. Now, AGRX is kind of a mixed bag. That's a mixed bag. It was technically sound early on. But these random movers like HTGM, a super fast mover like when ISP, if I can type today, when ISPO went bananas, I'll have to show you this now. When ISPO, which I know some of you may remember, when ISPO did this day, when we go from 12, 15, whatever, up to one, we go 80, 90, $100 move, $50 move in a day, stay away from those. Those are going to be, at first, far more detrimental to your account and you as a trader, because maybe you get successful on one of them. Maybe you win $2,000 or $3,000 on an ISPO. Then you go attack the next one and you lose 10K on it because you try to do the same setup, but you don't even remember what it was. You just kind of jumped in and you lose 5K instead of making another 2K. Stay away from these movers. Stay away from random up and down movers during lunch hours like this. These are not going to be successful early on for you or building patience. Not at all. Not at all, 100%. What we want to find, and I know today, well, where was the last one? AFib was AFib. Great example of just playing a slower play. What was the other one today everyone was playing? What was the other one? Kenny, if you're still in chat. God, what was the other slow play today, team? Super slow play. In-min candle breakout set up for tomorrow. Oh, what is it, team? It's killing me. Maybe it is AFib. No, it's not AFib. AFib's going down too far. Oh, what is it, team? It isn't NRSN, is it? No, well, NRSN, no, but that's a little bit too slow. It's a lower float. It isn't NRSN. Oh, I forgot what it was. We were looking at it earlier, team. But you want to find slower plays, and now it's killing me here. It's not ENUP, HTGM. It's not this one. Does anyone know? EVFM, thank you. EVFM, thank you. That was the one. EVFM. We're getting to KZR. Don't worry, Armin. I know you're still in that one, hopefully. EVFM, right? This one, a little bit slower play. We need something that's not going to, even with volume, even with a ton of volume. I mean, we're talking 15, 5, 10 million shares trade. I know it's a 3-minute time frame. That's a lot of volume compared to a lot of stocks we've looked at. This is what we want to look for. Or again, yes, KZR. Something that isn't, if I could put the Z in first today, something that's not going to move nearly as volatile. That's going to not only help out, you can go smaller share size. Regardless, it's not going to move crazy. Now you can go smaller share size on top of it, get rid of your P&L, and then you found your play. And now you can trade it. I'm telling you, it seems way easier said than done, and it is, because you just don't apply it yet. And if you start applying this, you will start being more patient. You need to start attacking a little bit slower, technically sound plays. Do not run over to Rev when it starts spiking. Red box when it starts spiking. Don't even. I'd be slapping your. Don't you run over there in those squeezy plays. Siga, another one. Siga at first, beautiful, technically sound. For the most part, recently, got to be a little more careful in those squeezes. I've seen a lot of people lose on these trades. So go to EVFM. This is a nice, slow, and steady play. A lot of volume can move into it, and it's still not going to move a lot. AFib, another one from recent movers that's not too volatile. Again, go back to bigger. No, we don't do 100 plus million in float. Let's go around 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 mil. 30 to 70 mil is a good area to look for as well. I'll add this to the list of crucial things. 30. Let's go down here a little further here. I want to go down at the bottom. 30 to 70 mil float. You start going lower than that. I won't put a ton on this one, kind of like get rid of your P&L. But it's crucial. If you don't get rid of your P&L, it's not the end-all be-all. But I think that hurts a lot of traders. This 30 to 70 mil float, not the end-all be-all. Very detrimental to a lot of traders. You're going to get one of those ISPO plays, and it's going to be a 3 mil, 2 mil, 1 mil float. You go jumping into it. One of these type movers, you're going to lose. You're patient. How are you going to learn patience on those plays either? It's very hard to. That's more of a disciplined, patient trader. I mean, it's very hard for me to stay patient in those trades. And again, maybe when I'm 10, 15, 20 years in, imagine the patience that will be set in those. That's why I say go attack a 30 to 70 million in float, right? Siga when it first started moving because it's 40 million in float. Love it. Now it's starting to get squeezy, right? So don't go over there and start trading Siga when it starts moving. And let's go over to floatchecker.com just to check out the float. And I love it. This is just like Siga. We go over to KZR, my kind of trade of the day. Didn't have to worry about it too much. Not going to be a crazy mover overall. Very similar to Siga's float, right? So before Siga got crazy squeezy, that's why I love to short it at first. And look, right on that right there. That's your bread and butter. That's what we're going to be looking for day in, day out. So going smaller share size, team. Starting tomorrow, please. If you are struggling with patience and you can't stick in your play long enough, you don't see the whole movement. You can't stick to your stop loss. You can't even stick to your target. What would be the other impatience in this? And a lot of it comes back to FOMO. You don't have patience to wait on your trades to come to you, right? You want to force in, force out. Wait for your trades to come to you. Wait for a pure setup. There's really not a lot I can teach on that right there as far as what to do to help you. You're just not patient enough to wait for your trades. You trade left, trade right. Sit on your hands. There's really not much you can do besides, hey, go smaller share size. If you do these 4 things, I bet you're going to minimize, as my point, with a lot of those trades. Go smaller share size. Okay, I already know that. You already know that. So let's do that, team. Smaller share size. 1 share, 10 share, 100 shares. I'm going to call it that. No more. Put it right here. No more than 100 shares. We'll do it right there. No more than 100 shares, right? No more than 100 shares. Get rid of your P&L. Those would be the 2 psychological things. Those 2 things mentally right here. Mentally, team. Going smaller share size and that P&L, getting rid of it. I can't tell you that right there. That the mental part that you're struggling with. That glitch. Oh, man, I'm up. Oh, glitch, I'm down. Oh, glitch. Oh my gosh. Why did I go on 3,000 shares? Go small share size. Get rid of your P&L. Those 2. It's gonna take a week. May take 2 weeks. Could take a month. But by the end of what could be a week or 2, maybe a month at most, I promise you going smaller share size and getting rid of your P&L, you're going to be a lot more like this and zen in your trades and relaxed. You don't have to worry near as much. Now, if you do the other 2 things here, find and trade. So you're finding them first, and then that's the ones you're going to trade. AFibs of the world, your EVFMs of the world, your KZRs of the world, of the last couple of days that I can just go straight to, and you can tell what I'm looking for and looking at here. Maintains decent volume, pretty technically sound, doesn't move 30 cents in a candle, 50 cents in a candle. Then make sure, okay, cool, I just want to make sure I think I found a slower play. I think I like the setup. Let me just go check the float real quick, like AK said. Ooh, wow, 37 mil float. Ooh, wow, 67 mil float. Now time to trade. Now time to go find your setup, forming your plan, sticking to it with that smaller share size, getting rid of that P&L so you're not, I want to, like earlier, like me, I wanted a $10 shelf crack with a movement down to 970, 960. That was my first, I wasn't even thinking this was going to dump up, but you have your, boom, I have my entry, I have my stop for my first, I have my exit area, I have it all planned before I get in. It's not, okay, here we go, we're jumping. Okay, what was my exits again? Choose, gee golly, what were they? You already know before you get in. Have that plan set, and then with the smaller share size, getting rid of that P&L, you're going to be able to stick in these plays a lot longer, waiting for your targets to get hit, and then sticking to your stop loss, not freaking yourself out. Sticking to these 4 guidelines right here, going smaller share size, getting rid of your P&L, find the slower plays and trading them, making sure that they're 30 to 70, maybe even bigger in float, with 30 to 70 million in float. The higher the better, because we know it's not going to be as volatile, although we see 30 million in float not move nearly as crazy, right? Good volume, doesn't move crazy, 30, 40 million in float. This is what we're looking for, team. Any questions you have over this, just in case I can add this in on the lesson itself, but stick to these 4 things. Going smaller share size, getting rid of your P&L, find and trade the slower plays, because typically they're going to have that 30 to 70 plus mil in float. That makes sense, team? Any questions about that? Let me know real quickly. So that way, if maybe a question that's relatively perfect to add for the patience lesson. If not, that will be the end of the patience lesson. How to gain and maintain patience. If that makes sense, there, team. Hopefully that does make sense. Any questions, comments, concerns? Or are you just all so blown away at how we gain patience? You're just like, that's it. That's all we have to do.